welcome. I'm Pavni Mittal and you're watching a storyboard preview of the inaugural Kyoorius Advertising Awards. The awards were launched by the two independent not-for-profit organizations D&AD and Kyoorius in April and will be held in Mumbai on 12th June. But at a time when creative awards like the Abbeys are facing a big credibility crisis with scams, fraudulent work and low participation, the question is, will these work? Animesh Das finds out.
Scam, plagiarism, questions over the judging process, agencies unwilling to participate, and more. Even as the mud and muck around Indian Creative Awards piles higher, it's the credibility of everyone associated with the awards that's pulled into question. But Kyoorius is not losing hope. After successfully hosting its design awards, the not-for-profit group will this year introduce awards for advertising, set up in partnership with 52-year-old D&AD. Dubbed the Kyoorius Awards, the intention is to award only work worthy of merit and create a neutral, transparent platform with a zero-tolerance approach to scam and plagiarism.
Creative awards around the world are sort of, subject to some level of criticism, and I'm not specifically aware of what's gone on in India. I know there are a number of award shows here, so why do you need another? I think I say this and it sounds like boasting on D&AD's behalf, but I think we bring a high standard, a level of transparency and integrity to it.
We're going to use three basic models to make sure that we don't have scam entries. One, D&AD has a scam policy where people at D&AD and people at Kyoorius will view all the entries and do a research to find out which ones are scam, whether they match the client criteria, etc. I think a lot of entries will get moved away last year. We did that last year for design also. In the second step, we will also be putting it up online for viewers across India to view it and pass comments. So they would also pass comments based on all the shortlisted entries which go online. The third and more robust one would be that we would put up a physical display of all the shortlisted entries.
Now there won't be any golds, silvers or bronzes. Instead, all the winners will receive this, the blue elephant. And the best of show will win a black elephant. However, what's more interesting is that D&AD will be managing the entire awards process, right from the submission of entries to the eventual 3-day judging. At the moment, the Kyoorius Awards are ticking off all the right boxes. However, the big challenge will be to maintain these standards as the days go by. In Mumbai, Animesh Das.
In May, the Kyoorius Advertising Awards threw its doors open for anyone to attend the judging process as well as to take a look at the 988 entries. The jury session was spread over 3 days and managed by D&AD. Animesh Das met the jury, which is led by Dawson Pickering's Neil Dawson.
I am Neil Dawson.
Hi, I'm Abhijit Awasthi.
Hi, I'm Graham Kelly.
Hi, this is Senthil Kumar.
My name is Carlos Anutibai.
Hi, I'm Sajan Rajkarup.
Hello, I'm Woon.
Hi, I'm Sonal Debral.
And I will be the jury foreman for the advertising jury at the Kyoorius Awards.
I'm delighted to be a juror at the Kyoorius India D&AD Awards.
I'm judging the traditional as well as the digital categories.
I'm honored to be a juror
at the Kyoorius D&AD Awards.
Kyoorius Awards.
Kyoorius D&AD Award.
Kyoorius Advertising Awards now.
I think the fact that the Kyoorius is a not-for-profit award show is very important. You celebrate creativity in its purest form. The money used from the awards goes back into the industry to educate younger people coming through.
I think the involvement of D&ADs is great because D&ADs really sets up the standard of it, no scams. It's about good ideas, well executed, they are relevant to the consumers.
I think Kyoorius India Awards are the first set of really credible creative awards for the industry in India. I think they derive their credibility from the fact that there is a D&AD backing, as well as the composition of the jury, which I think will add to it.
We've always maintained that awards need a sense of autonomy, which is not about having jurors as representative of agencies, or agencies being represented on a jury, as against here are a few minds that we think are qualified to sort of pick out the best and curate a reel that people can look at and sort of feel inspired.
For Kyoorius, you are in the book and you get a blue elephant, or you don't get anything. So that would set it apart, I think, quite dramatically from how it works with gold, silver, bronzes, which is a more traditional way of doing things.
It's not to say that awarding bronze and silver is not right. Of course it's right, But I find this idea exciting.
I think the fact that we've got 50% of international jury on board here, along with 50% Indian jury, I think it's a good attempt to try something different and try and get a completely different POV of Indian creative from an outside perspective as well as from an inside perspective, and see where it goes from there.
The way I want to lead the jury is to very much concentrate on the work that is delivering creativity to a client's business. This is not just about giving an award in that particular category because you have that category. It's about giving an award because that is great work this year.
Quite often we see work which is clearly very clever, but would it really persuade the audience to be interested in that product, to buy that product? Possibly not, because maybe it was done to impress juries rather than a real target audience. So I look for persuasion, big idea, great execution.
I judged D&AD before, and what I liked about it is that it's extremely tough.
Well, the attempt is to make it a little tough to win. I think it's fewer but surer wins, and that's probably what we are aiming at.
If someone says that in a category there will be only one blue elephant or only two blue elephants, it means a lot. There are hundreds of pieces of work out there and only one gets awarded.
Execution has to be excellent, and most importantly, every piece of idea has to have a strategy behind it.
The D&AD pencil, or the one-show pencil, or the can line did not become so glorious overnight. It took many years for them to sort of earn that reputation, and so I think the elephant is probably the largest sized award to start with. So hopefully it'll grow in stature very soon, and it'll be something that every creative in India will be hungry for and want to win soon.
We were first briefed to be very stringent with the in-books. So if you look at the final results, this is going to be a very thin book, and probably less than 10% make it to the mark. We want to send a message that Kyoorius D&AD is the toughest award to win in India.
It's important that these awards have a value, and the highest value. It should be a very, very precious thing, and that small yellow lump of wood, that pencil that doesn't draw anything, is actually incredibly difficult to come by, and the elephant should be the same.
The jury disqualified 20 entries in print and outdoor. While some of these were invalid, a few of them were scam ads. Let's take a break here. Coming up ahead, D&AD President Laura Jordan Bamback weighs in on the Kyoorius partnership. Welcome back. You're watching a Storyboard special on the Kyoorius Advertising Awards. This partnership between D&AD and Kyoorius is the first of its kind for D&AD, which started last year with the Kyoorius Design Awards. Storyboard editor Anant Rangaswamy interviewed D&AD President Laura Jordan Bamback to find out how D&AD maintains its high standards across its partnerships.
Hello Laura, good to see you again in India.
Good to see you too.
This time you've come, unlike last time, for the Kyoorius D&AD Awards.
Yes.
And one of the dangers with a big brand like D&AD is if you associate yourself with another brand. Always the danger if something goes wrong, it rubs off onto the mother brand.
Yes, that's true. I think we've had a relationship with Kyoorius now for a couple of years. We know Rajesh really well. We know what integrity they have as an organisation and what they stand for. So for us, that initial partnership was very obvious, but you're absolutely right. We need to protect the D&AD brand. It's the most difficult award to win in the world, and it's seen around the world as the most credible award. We have the most rigorous processes in place to check for fraud, for example, and so it really requires sort of quite a lot of our time and effort, and a real partnership with Kyoorius to help on a local scale, so sort of on the Indian scale, making sure that we have those same measures in place here, so checking the work, and also help with things like entering the work and the judging process, and making sure all of that is as good and as solid as what it is at D&AD.
Sure. In specific terms, what are the people involvements of D&AD in the Kyoorius D&AD Award?
So we send over a group of people that work at D&AD who are responsible for judging, for the integrity of the judging for the main awards. They actually are here and they're observing and they're helping throughout the process. But previous to that, we've had months and months of conversations and negotiations, setting up platforms, and just making sure that everyone that works at Kyoorius understands what it means to win an award that's as prestigious as a D&AD award.
So what do you hope you'll see Kyoorius D&AD growing to become, say, 5 years from now?
Well, I mean, I'm really hoping that it will sort of fill a role in India for, I guess, for the future of advertising in India. So the same way as the Kyoorius Awards around design really showcase the most wonderful pieces of work, and start to showcase them to a global audience, and give sort of local agencies a platform to really shine. I'm hoping that will happen. That will happen through the advertising awards as well.
You know, you've been to India now a number of times in the last few years. Yes. So tell us what you like and what you don't like about Indian advertising.
I love India. I absolutely love India, and I particularly love Mumbai. I mean, the whole place is beautiful, and the fact that everywhere that you go it has its own personality, and it's just so, you know, the colours and the people are so lovely. That goes the same, I think, with the sort of advertising and design here as well. There's sort of a sense of joy that you see in a lot of the work, and experimentation. And although in terms of media it's quite traditional, you know, in terms of the messages that they're trying to say and the things that they'll try to communicate in Indian work, I think that's, you know, that's quite interesting, you know.
Thank you so much, Laura, for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take another break here. Coming up ahead, what you can expect at the Kyoorius Awards. Welcome back, you're watching Storyboard. Besides the awards itself, Kyoorius is planning a grand experience for the awards night, one which will take up more than 50,000 square feet and has Dutch design agency Addict helming the crew. Animesh Das reports on what you can expect from the awards night.
The Kyoorius Award is an award show that celebrates creativity. So we don't want the award show to become a spectator event. We don't want people to sit down and just watch people going up stage to collect awards. What we want to do right now, we are planning very hard to bridge the gap between spectator and participants. And most important of all is to get everyone experience something which they can feel that they belong to it, which is a creative fraternity, which the people who work with the creatives. So we want to create an atmosphere where everyone can mingle around freely, move around freely, while some people would no doubt get their awards, but everyone should get a fantastic experience out of it.
The setup of the stage is going to be big. It's about 5,000 square feet stage, 500-meter ramp around, and we're going to have like 3,000 square feet of LED. But again, like Kay said, it's not about the technique itself, it's more about what we aim to achieve.
We love technology, so we'll be trying to implement some of the new ideas which we had over the past few years. We just never had a chance to do it on the stage. So this is what we're exploring. Yes, there'll be a lot of LEDs. Yes, there'll be a lot of colors. Yes, but the setting, trust me, it'll be like no other.
We do a lot of international shows in China, Germany, Europe, all around. But in India, it's always a challenge to get the right technology at the right place at the right time. But I think we'll manage. We will fly a team in from Amsterdam, basically to cover all the content, and they will work with the local technology partners to make sure that everything is in sync and there are no gaps and everything is smooth, because that's what we're aiming at, a smooth show. So not a chopped up award show, but just one overall experience.
Storyboard will be at the NSCI Stadium in Mumbai on the 12th of June for the Kyoorius Advertising Awards. Till then, stay connected. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and there's the brands page at firstbiz.com. We'll leave you with some of the campaigns in the running to win a blue or black elephant.
Mr. Venkat, आप ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग करते हैं? Of course, with Flipkart. घर बैठे ऑर्डर करो, no lines, no traffic.
Talking about traffic is a conspiracy to shame the government.
Hold on to that thought. We are getting a live feed. Disturbing images.
सांची में आके स्तूपा देखा, शांत होकर हिंसा को फेंका, एमपी में आई हर रूह, मलंग है।
चड्डा, समझाओ इसे। जानी, तुम उठो या बैठो, लेकिन हम तुम्हें मारेंगे और जरूर मारेंगे।
पढ़ लिख गई तो सासे सखियों खाली कुआं भर जावेगा। बड़ा मकोड़ा छोटी कीड़ी।
एक वेफर और 5.5 ग्राम का फर्क शायद आपके लिए कोई मायने नहीं रखता पापा, पर इसी फर्क ने आज मुझे इस घर में अपनी जगह दिखा दी। मैं घर छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ पापा, आपका मोनू।
हाँ जी, कौन? हैप्पी बर्थडे यारा। यूसुफ, वो यूसुफ, मेरे बल्लू, यूसुफ।
चाय ठंडी हो रही है।
हाँ।
प्लीज।
थैंक यू।
हीरा देने वालों का दिल भी हीरे जैसा होता है।